All right. So what you got?
Okay. I really liked this part about dance. You said I lost that connection for many years and it's back. I own it now more than ever. Dance is about strength. I am a strong woman. Dance is about learning to take the next step. Dance is about actually taking the next step. I really like that part. Dancers must be grounded and move from their core. Dancers stay in the flow while remaining grounded, knowing how to move through the chaos and take their next step. Dance is from the soul, and in the soul there is no fear.
It's fun to hear you read that. It's like, who said that?
Like, damn, that's good.
And it reminds me of, like, I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of inner work, and I haven't done it alone, right? I've done it with coaches and support and mentors and husbands and children.
I think that's another reason it's so cool to have things that we've written in the past, like those letters, because you never remember it the same way that it felt when you were in it.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, you're like, so like kind of, it feels like the bleeding heart, you know, when you're in it and you're just like, so it's not desperate, but when I look back, it's like that, it's the hopeful and the like wanting to be optimistic, wanting to see the best in everyone, trying to make the most of your situation and just let it be the best that it can be. Right. And then I think once you get to the point where enough is enough and I'm done being optimistic about everything and I'm done trying to like make the best of it and you're just like, F this, I'm done. Then when you look back, you're like, oh my goodness, like, you know, and you see all the effort that you put into it. Yep. And you can like honor that too though and say, like, I'm a damn determined woman. Like, I don't just let things go. I don't just, throw my hands up and surrender at the first sign of some work or struggle.
Like hang on to a fault.
Yeah.
Goes both ways. Yeah, and I find it very interesting because, like, we moved from 3,000 square foot homes. I mean, Terry was divorced like 5 years before I was divorced. And so we did a lot of downsizing separately and together. And to think that that notebook, that spiral notebook that, was used at the retreat with the letters we wrote to each other and then continued afterwards, made it into a 750 square foot apartment. And the reason I took it with me is because I wanted to like have a record of who I was and what I did in that marriage. So like if I was doing something wrong, I wouldn't bring it to this marriage. So that was interesting. And I had Terry read it as well. And then I just dumped all of it. Into the drive doc as I was putting my memoir together. And the people that were doing the pre-read through the drive doc, I was like, I got to cut some of this, right? And they're like, oh God, no, don't cut any of it. I'm like,
keep all of it.
It is long. And they're like, no, it's and there's like, no, it really spoke to me. I was right there and I could really relate. And like, any woman who is divorced, I bet would just love reading those letters. So I was surprised, and I didn't know like what I would take out because it seemed like a long kind of smooth run. The more I read it, the less I thought, well,
when I was reading it, I was like, was this all one letter? Like,
I know, it really flows.
It had so much flow. And, I loved this line. I may be a complicated person, but I really want very simple things.
Aww.
And I was like, that right there is like, amen to that, because that's how I feel. I've told my partner that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm complex. But when it comes down to it, what makes me really happy in life and feels good and is satisfying is family dinners. It's just conversations on the patio at night, watching the sunset. It's,
Right.
you know, the really, really simple things.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't take much effort.
Right.
And we kind of have been able to exchange those things. Like, he really loves to wake up to a back rub. If I'm just, you know, rubbing his back in the morning, he's in heaven. And I'm like, well, that's like super easy to do.
Right.
Very simple. And what it gives him is like way more than, you know, those couple minutes. Is that like super loud in the background?
Not bad. No. Okay. How about the rustling in the kitchen?
I don't hear anything on your end, so we're good. And I loved this. You said, I want very much to be like the woman in the Bible whose husband and children rise up to honor her. This is very important to me, and it has been a crushing blow for me every time one of you cuts me down or puts down my efforts to take care of you all. For example, my cooking. I can cook. I just need people who communicate what they like and when they would like it on a regular basis.
Now you're going to make me cry.
And that was like a theme of, like, you were just like, please just be clear with me. Be clear, like, what are your needs actually, so that I know if I've met them. And also I noticed a couple of times that, like, you had the thing about going to the deserted, or not a deserted island, but going to an island with him. And
in the letter I wrote it.
Yeah, if we went to an island, I would do these 3 things, and they were all about things you would do for him. And it wasn't about receiving or like an exchange. Mm-hmm. And
herein lies the problem.
Yeah, and it's and I loved, you said, we feel the abuse of your resentment for meeting others' needs before your own. And I thought that's so powerful, going both ways. Like, if you aren't meeting your own needs, you're going to resent other people, and they're going to feel it. So they're like, please go meet your own needs. Like, please figure out what you need and go get it, because we don't want your resentment. And you said, I love to meet your needs, yet I often feel frustrated because I don't always know what they are. When you've opened that door just a crack, I cling to what little pieces of information I can get. I at least try to meet your needs using my creativity, which sadly enough probably doesn't meet your needs at all. I feel we get caught in a vicious cycle of not meeting each other's needs, or feeling we have and then being shocked that we haven't. It leads to much misery and disillusionment. I think that's just spot on, the cycle, and feeling like you can try everything in the book that you can imagine to make someone else happy, and it doesn't work if the communication isn't there.
Spot on.
Yeah.